Hello everyone, this is Saurabh and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is another video, and yes, today I have some things to share with you, some very personal things, some very, confessional things, and I am really excited to, talk. So let's start. Today, in front of you all, I want to address an issue that I have been facing from a long time, maybe ever since I started going to school, or that is where it started to develop, I think, and that is my inability to talk to people for a long time. How this came out to me, because today, like, I met a very old friend in the library, and he just said hi to me, and I just said hi for the sake of it, and he was really eager to have a conversation with me. And I tried my best to not make him feel that what I'm feeling inside, but I was actually running away from the conversation, and I just wanted this to end. And I was telling everything in a way that will bring all of it to a full stop. And there was he was a really good guy, and I just really felt extremely bad after the conversation ended very awkwardly. And I just hated myself at that time for being such a introvert, and always running, always avoiding conversations with people. And at a lot of places, this had led me, this has led to a lot of not too so good experiences with me and other people. And maybe this is one of the reasons that a lot of people who with whom I had very good bonding or relation, or conversations have just faded away with time, because I don't know how to keep someone for a long time with if they are not present physically with me. Even if they are present, I just feel it extremely hard to stay connected with people. And mainly the main reason for is that I find it extremely hard to have conversation with people, and that's a very big negativity that I have, and that I must address. And just a few days back, I was actually I just enrolled into a public speaking masterclass for $100 or so. I don't usually do that at all, but I did it because the coach promised me that I would be confident, and much confident enough in order to to speak in front of the public, and in front of a lot of people, and in front of just a few people or one people in general. I will learn how to reciprocate people's vibe, or people's energy, or people's emotions and the conversation and what they expect from me. I just wanted to learn. And the public sorry the webinar was not that much of an investment, because all through the webinar he just did a small PowerPoint presentation, and he just pitched his main course throughout the event. And he didn't really bought too much value. He was just advertising his main course that costed a lot of money. And I just watched it for 3 hours, and then realized that I just wasted my time, probably knowing very few bullet points. But I just kept on taking screenshot. But that's a different thing. It really didn't came to any fruit at all. But yes, after that I realized that yes, I have been desperately wanting myself to grow in a such a way where I can actually speak in front of people for a long time. And I actually see, I'm against stammering. Even though I'm talking in front of the camera, I'm still stammering about having to all talk all about all of those downbacks or my negative things. So yes, I was talking about reciprocation. And yes, in every conversation I just have this inherent anxiety inside of me that makes me end those conversations, and just makes me believe that talking to someone is actually a very big task, and in every sentence that I create, I have to make sure that they just don't find me boring, or they just don't find me disappointing, or they just don't find me disrespecting in my words. And in that process, I become extremely formal, extremely conscious in what I say, and my body gestures, and the vibe I share with them. And the other person just realizes it after some point of time, and they get bored out of the conversation, and they just uh, you know like me, they just don't just want to end the conversation. They just want to an escape. And that is how a lot of people with whom I had really good connection a long time back, when I was actually a bit, maybe a little bit less introvert, but they are slowly disappearing. I don't even text them or message them, or hold any contact with them. And that is the sole reason that I sometimes feel extremely alone, or I feel extremely disconnected with the society, disconnected with the people around me, because this is the basic communication barrier that I have with myself. Maybe I should learn. And maybe for a long time, actually, I thought that this is a permanent drawback of me. This is a default drawback of me, and this can't be changed. But eventually, after I research, I realized that this is an actually skill that I can develop with practice and with lessons, good guidance over a period of time. And maybe me talking in front of the camera is a way of being present. And even if there is no audience, I can just talk to myself and see how much I can extend my memory, or extend my thoughts in front of in the form of lines, in the form of basic conversations, without lagging too much. And so, yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. And I realized that another thing that I have to do is learn how to kill that anxiety, kill that feeling of restlessness. And maybe for that, I have to look at someone's eyes straightly while I'm talking to them, rather than just looking here and there, and trying to escape, because the other person gets that energy right in front when you do that. And so, yes, in order to I don't know what I have to do now. Those are the lessons I have to learn about public speaking, or speaking with confidence. But the things that are keeping me back, the first thing is that I become extremely anxious for no particular reason, or for the reasons that doesn't actually matter, of how the other people will think, or conceiving a lot of prejudices about how the other people sees me or expects me to be. And the second thing is that I have to make eye contact with them, rather than looking at a lot of other things. And that is the thing that I have learned from my brother, who is an exceptional speaker, or exceptional person, who knows how to build genuine good connections with people that are purely organic, without any pretentious thing or pretentious acting. Maybe my conversations has a lot of acting, or a lot of pretentiousness, a lot of formality, and pre-thinking before every single sentence. And I don't want to repeat that on. So yes, from now, maybe I should practice speaking with people, talking to people in a more organic, in a more genuine way, keeping the back of my mind completely empty. Maybe then I will get rid of this anxiousness, this prejudices, and just have a genuine conversation. Just learn how to develop a good genuine conversation, and an extremely purely human connection with someone. And maybe then I can be more better with you all in front of the camera, of the someone of the viewer who is watching this video. And yes, I'll try my best to come in front of the camera more often, and speak more often about everything that I think, everything that I realize, or everything that I ponder upon. And yes, this is what I wanted to say today. Thank you for watching my channel. I'll see you again, maybe tomorrow, or maybe the day after tomorrow, or whenever I feel like making this video, or whenever I get the opportunity to make it. And yes, until then, take care of yourself. keep on speaking, on talking with people, keep on building genuine, beautiful human connections, because that's one of the most beautiful thing you can ever do in your human life. So thank you so much. This is Saurabh signing off. Take care. Bye bye.